Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are listening to. This is Irfan Nurani, your clarity coach. And today we have an amazing human being who I'm going to be having a conversation with. So, first of all, to all our listeners out there, a little bit about me. If you don't know me, if you're tuning in for the first time on this podcast, my name is Irfan Nurani. I am the clarity coach, and I've help people, a lot of people around the globe to help get clarity in their life so that they are able to move forward in the direction that they always wanted to. As they say, the way gets punished, the clear gets rewarded. So my mission, I'm on a mission. And with that mission in mind, my mission is to impact 3 million people in the next 3 years by 20th April 2023. I would, I wanted to impact 3 million people globally. So, with that in mind, I had started this podcast along with my other work. I'm an author of 5 books. I've done coaching around the world. I've done speaking engagements around the world. And I wanted a lot of people, a lot of you guys out there listening to get an understanding of how certain people carve their path in spite of all the challenges that they have been through. And, with that in mind, the one of the most important name that came to my mind is of Mr. Niranjan Nerle. Now, Mr. Niranjan Nerle is going to be live with us today, and he's going to be enlightening his journey. But let me tell you who this gentleman is. The gentleman is called a rebound coach. He's a rebound coach, TEDx speaker, author, inspirational speaker, and a corporate trainer. He believes that challenging one's limit rather than be limited by the challenges. Over the period of 2 decades, he's in the corporate world. He's been a trainer. He's a founder of Excel Plus Services coaching and training firm. Niranjan has trained more than 4,000 participants and 80 plus organizations in the last 10 years in the area of agile project management and various Indian and overseas clients. Now, this is just not even the tip of the iceberg. He has done much more. Most importantly, he has traveled to 5 countries in his wheelchair for his work that he's delivered services to motivational talks, coaching seminars in different college and corporate institutes. Now, his life in itself is, what do I say? I mean, it's a shining example for people who have gone through certain challenges and bounced back to the fold of 1x 2x, but this guy has bounced back to the fold of 10x with what challenge he saw in his early career or early life. I mean, again, he has earned various awards: Rotary Diversity Awards 2018 for vocational excellence. He's been featured in various national and international televisions like Doordarshan for India, if you talk about India. And then, he also has his own program called Stand Up, Rewire Your Destiny, and You Can. And he's with this work that he has taken up as a coach, as a speaker, as an inspirational guy who can, who inspires people and goes about traveling and helping people out. He has taken up a mission to impact 5 lakh people in the next 5 years to realize their potential and become successful in their life. Now, I don't want to take a lot of time in his description because, again, I can keep going on and on of what he has done and how he is recognized today. But I'm rather focused on inviting him, having a conversation with him to understand how he went through this entire journey of transformation himself with all the challenges that he faced in his life. So, Niranjan, welcome to Clarity Conversations with Irfan. I'm so honored and happy to have you on this podcast.
Oh, thank you, Irfan. Thank you very much it's a great privilege to have a podcast with you, and I'm sure you're going to uh, ask all the things what you want to ask, and I'm willing to share wholeheartedly. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Niranjan. Thank you so much. And, thank you for being so giving. Now, Niranjan, I understand that I believe you were doing engineering at a very early age of your life, like beginning of your career, right? So tell me a
Yes.
little bit about what was life then, what was going on in your life, how things were, and what was happening there.
Yeah, I was, that was in the year 1982 to 87. So that is the time where I did my civil engineering. That was in my home. It's a native place called Davangere in Karnataka.
Okay.
So I did my civil engineering at that time. And to tell you very clearly, in fact, to go a little bit before getting into civil engineering, I was a very, very average student. I'm
Mhm.
not very studious and diligent in studies, things like that. I used to spend a lot of time in games and sports rather than books. So,
Okay.
so 10th to 12th standard, that was more crucial. One of my brother who did MTech in IIT Delhi had secured a job in Bangalore. Since I am from Karnataka, so at that time he had come to my home place and my native place, and my father was no more. My mother was there, and he was sharing about his job and things like that. I used to respect him a lot. In fact, even today, he is one of my role model. So,
Great.
and my mother asked him to take me to Bangalore to make me to study so that I will be more. She was of a fear that if I plus I may not be able to make a great career. So she was always having that fear. So she asked my brother, wanted to take him to Bangalore. So then my brother asked me, would you like to come to Bangalore? So at that time, it was like in a double mind. One side I was feeling to very difficult to leave my native place, my friends, my mother, because I used to love my mother. But at the same time, I used to love my brother also. So yeah, then I said, okay, I will come. So that is the time when he took me to Bangalore and he put me to one free hostel there.
Okay.
So when I was studying in that free hostel, I used to be alone because now I am away from a native place and nobody is there except me in the room. At that time, a lot of time I had a lot of time to think about myself and my future. That is the time I started really start thinking really about my future.
Okay.
And I used to even start. Uh, in fact, I was crying sometimes in the night why I became alone, things like that. But at the same time, I also used to think, what is going to be in my future? My father is no more, and my mother is old lady, and how I'm going to carve my future. So
Hmm.
that is a time where it starts. There's something inside me started igniting that you have to make your life, otherwise you will be nowhere in this world. So then I thought only way to come up in my life is through better education. So I was just an ordinary student. I never used to score even more than 60%.
Sure.
Then I decided, okay, I think this is the time. This second PUC, the 12th standard, if I don't get good marks, I will not be able to get admission either engineering or medicine, things like that.
Got it.
So that was a time. In fact, at that time, I also got influenced to Swami Vivekananda. My brother used
Okay.
to take me to Ramakrishna temple there, and whenever the prayer was going on, there was some messages I used to feel, that I used to feel very inspired to come up in my life. So this is the one turning point I can say.
Sure.
That day I decided, okay, this is the time I have to change my life. So I started becoming more focused on my studies at that time.
Okay. Great. So this was the first kind of a breakthrough where you were
Correct.
on your own, craving for the connection and the love, and you said, you know what, why is it like this? And then you started understanding that your father is not around, and you need to be in charge of your life, not only your life, but serve your mom well, so that you need to do it through education, make yourself better, and move forward. Brilliant. What a realization, right?
Yeah.
And I share a similar path because I also lost my father. We were very poor, and things were not working out. Money was a challenge. Things were a challenge. A lot of family issues, And I also realized at some point, you know what, I need to take charge. And that's what even my kind of a first turning point. But again, so going forward, like, you know, I know we haven't touched on a very, like, the one of the crucial turning point of your life, uh, you know, which happened next. So I
Yeah.
think you were studying there, and in the hostel. And which year you were on? You were in when if you can enlighten about that episode that happened that
Yes,
completely
yes,
changed your life.
yes.
Please enlighten about that episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I got my engineering seat and I finished my civil engineering for 4.5 years, I always had a great desire to go abroad. So I am basically from a very middle class family. I didn't have too much money. So I thought only way to go abroad without spending money is to secure admission in IIT. So
Okay.
hence, with great hard work, I secured admission for post-graduation in IIT Mumbai. That was in year 1889, and I got uh, admission in aerospace engineering. So I
Nice.
finished my post-graduation in 1991 beginning. So and then I was working in a Bombay Port Trust. It's as a class one officer,
Right.
and I had finished couple of years of my service. In 94, there was a multinational company which had hired me. They had handpicked me to send me to US. This is a software company, and they had a big operation in US, and they were looking for some candidates to send them for long assignment. At that time, this company hired me to, in fact, they handpicked me, and they said me in the interview also that we want to send you to US for a long time, and hope you are okay with that. So then I had joined this company. It was 2 months had passed somewhere in September 1994, and the now you can imagine it was November 1994.
Right.
And in another 1 or 2 months, I should have been in US, and almost visa documents and everything were getting processed. And this
Right.
company was training me lot, so they were upgrading my skill. They were training me to improve all the activities how I could do in US.
Right.
And I had come. I used to stay in a bachelor's flat in Powai in front of IIT. That was
Okay.
my professor's flat only. So we
Mm.
were all a group of bachelors who were staying in the sub flat. So we were around 4 people. So it was a weekend. Friday, I finished my job and came to my flat, and I used. I started feeling a little tired. I don't know what happened. I just slept on my cot. And
Mm.
normally, what happens in Mumbai is being a busy place. All bachelors like to live their houses in the weekend. They go and stay in different places, and they come on Sunday.
Right. Right.
So when I came from my job in the night 8:30, nobody was there in my flat.
Right.
Everyone had gone for weekend relaxation, to either to their friend's house or relatives' house like that.
Mm.
So I couldn't even realize. I just slept on my cot, and that I don't know. After that, I am completely sort of a semi-conscious state. They call it as a delirium state. So
Wow. Okay.
in medicine, in fact, I
Okay.
came to know about this state later only.
Sure.
So you will be semi-conscious. You will not be knowing exactly what you are aware of doing it. So I came and slept, and it was Sunday afternoon. I don't know. This is what my friends are told. Okay. And I think Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock, when they came, I was sleeping and murmuring something, and they're
Mm.
discussing to take me to hospital. At that time, suddenly a knock from to the house door. A lady came and knocked the door and alerted my friends. They told she saw somebody falling from the balcony
Wow.
from upper floor, and
Okay.
she saw a man going down like that. So then my friends immediately went and saw me in the basement. And they went to the basement. When they saw that, they realized it was me.
So basically, they were not in the room while they were discussing with whether they should take you to the hospital or not.
They were there in the room. They were in the other room, and I was
Okay.
I was in my room.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So then my friends saw that it was me, and they realized that I had fallen, and
Oh God.
then my legs were moving for some time, and they remained static, and they did start moving later on. And I was injured on my right hand. I had broken at 3 places, so they took me to the hospital. I don't even remember even till today how all these things happened.
Yeah.
And now, just to give a fast forward for next 7 days. Next 7 days, I am completely in a sort of a semi-conscious state that I am not realizing what has happened. And now I open my eyes.
So
I
since that, so sorry, I'm interrupting, Ranjan. So since Sunday,
ah,
this entire episode, obviously you are in a delirium state and you probably just fall off the window or the balcony which
balcony,
had
yeah.
balcony.
Hmm.
And since that point onwards, you have no realization, no understanding of what is going
No,
on.
no,
And
no.
even the next 7 days, you're saying you are completely unconscious or semi-conscious.
In fact, I am semi-conscious because my brother was there, but I don't know what was happening. I don't
Okay.
even know
Okay. Okay.
how those 7 days passed.
So until now, you have no realization of what changes have happened to you,
Yes,
or
yes,
what effect it had on you, on your body, on your hand, on your
absolutely.
legs and everything, right? You don't have clue.
Ab-
Okay.
Absolutely correct.
Okay.
So now I will tell you the incident how I came to realization. So it was like after 7 days. It was in the evening, 5 o'clock. I feel 4 to 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I saw some of my friends standing around my cot, hospital cot,
Right.
and then I recognized one guy. His name is Ravi Shankar. He used to
Mm.
work in Larsen and Toubro in Mumbai, and
Okay.
he started wishing me. Then I also started wishing him.
Mm.
Then I was wondering why, how come these guys are standing in front of my cot and I'm sleeping on my cot.
Mm.
I couldn't even think what has happened to me. Then
Okay.
I started
Wow.
telling them, hi guys, how are you, things like that. Then these guys, they moment they realize that I'm not even aware, they become even more emotional at that time. And one guy started
Wow.
crying, and I started seeing the tears coming out of his eyes. And I wondered, how come? What is the reason this person is crying?
Crying.
And I asked
Yeah.
him, "Hey, come on, man! What has happened to you? Why are you crying?" When I asked this question, he started even crying more.
Shit.
Then I thought something wrong must have happened. Either to I couldn't even think it has happened to me. I was still
Right.
thinking, I'm just lying on the bed. Maybe
Yeah.
something happened, and they would have put me on my hospital cot, things like.
Right.
Then this person started explaining, it was 7 days back. You fell down from the balcony, and professor's wife saw you falling down, and then we came to the basement and saw your body on the ground lying, and we took you to hospital, and this is what has happened. Then I realized,
It, it
I started even laughing. In fact, hey, come on, guys, how can I fall down from fourth floor? Am I
mm,
a fool or like that to jump from fourth floor? I could, in fact,
could not contemplate or
uh, it,
comprehend the entire thing that has happened to you.
in fact, I found it, in fact, it was hilarious for me.
Wow.
Then they said, no, no, this is what has happened. Then I started thinking, oh, this is what has happened. And moment I came to that realization, I couldn't even imagine how come this incident can happen. Because, I did not do anything deliberately, and all of a sudden I fell down from fourth floor. Then after a few days, I came to know through medical doctors that, it probably I would have done it out of delirium state. So in delirium state, what happens? I would have walked to the balcony, and from balcony I flipped and fell down. So this is what doctor said to me. Then I thought, oh, I have fallen down from fourth floor, and now my legs are not moving. But let me tell you, even then I was aware that I'm not going to walk forever in my life.
God.
So then I came to the realization only after 3 months after my accident. So I was brought to my native place. I came to my native place in Davangere. I was admitted.
So you
And
mean, sorry, I'm interrupting. You mean
yeah, go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
entire episode that has happened, obviously you started realizing now after 7 days that something like this has happened.
Mm.
And it took some time for it to sink in completely what could have happened, why it happened, or the way it happened, basically.
Yes,
Uh, but also during this period, no one has told you that this is going to be like this for the rest of your life, or so you have not been told, or you have not realized it, but
absolutely. No.
they've not even spoken about it.
Yes, yes. Even my brother kept it secret. He
Okay.
knew it. Doctor
Right.
had told him, but
Right.
he hid it from me. Probably he thought, I might take it very seriously.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now the truth came to known to me after 3 months of after accident when I was brought to my native place. The orthopedician one day came to me, and it was maybe like 10-15 days after my staying in the hospital. He said, Niranjan, I want to be straight with you. I want to tell you one thing. Tomorrow onwards, you better get used to riding the wheelchair. You are not going to walk forever in your life. And I want to be straight with you. This is something I never even expected. I could, no words came from my mouth except the tears.
Right.
When he was telling, I couldn't even imagine, is this the truth what he's telling? Till then, I used to think I'll be still going to US, and maybe some small injury must have happened. And I had even my two-wheelers, which had not, I had not even sold. And I was still in a high state of dream that I will be in US. And now, when I'm told that you spend rest of your life in wheelchair, how can I accept it? It was so difficult. Whole world turned topsy turvy. Like
Yeah.
whole world, I blank. Literally, I couldn't even think next 10 to 15 days. Why?
What
Only
kind
this
of
question.
what
Only
kind of
this question.
what kind of thoughts were running into your mind from that point onwards?
So tell you very frankly, Irfan,
Yes.
uh, I was completely, I didn't even know what to do next, because if disability happens right from birth, you get used to accept the disability. But now I'm in the 29 years, having such a great stellar degree, and from IIT. Next couple of months I would have been in US for a very pretty long assignment, and my life would have taken completely a different professional turn. I would have been one of the top notch professionals in US. But now, how to spend my rest of my days itself was a big question to me. And I started thinking, first I started blaming is God. I
Yeah.
started telling, is there anything called God, first of all? Why
Wow.
people keep telling God, God, God? If God had been there, this situation should not have occurred to me, because I have come from middle class background, struggled hard to get a seat in IIT with my own effort, with a government scholarship. I did my IIT degree, and when I was picked from a MNC, out of my sheer brilliance, I cleared the interview, and in couple of months I'm going to be in US. Why this situation had to happen at this point of time?
Wow.
This was something I started even thinking, if God had been there, I don't think he would have kept quiet like this. So I started even hating God.
Wow.
They're telling, no, there's no concept called, there's nothing called God. In fact, these are all only our concept or our own notion.
Mm-hmm.
I kept on telling this to my sisters, brothers, everyone who came. No, there is no God at all. If God had been there, nothing like this would have happened. So next 15 days to 1 month was pretty difficult, because somehow I used to pass, because nurses and other people and friends and my relatives to come. But in the night, when night was coming, it was so difficult for me to spend the night time. The whole world was looking dark at that time, and I couldn't even move my 1 inch of my waist below. I was paralyzed from waist below. My three hands, my right hand was broken in three places, and I used to look only the hospital roof, and everything was looking dark in that silence. More and more silence was there. I used to feel pretty difficult to accept it. And I started thinking, what is going to happen to my life in future? Who will, how I'm going to manage my life? I went into severe depression. In fact, I went to severe depression. I thought of even ending my life after 1 month after this accident.
Wow. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. What? I mean, I was completely into the imagination. What you're saying, and I mean, I can only I can't comprehend what you went through, and it's crazy. But the next question that I want to ask, Niranjan, obviously, you went through this for a period of time, battling with your inner self, going and asking this question, whether even God exists and why this happened to me, why this happened to me. How did you find a ray of hope to go on, figuring out, moving forward, accepting what has happened and moving beyond? What are the things that happen, and what
Yeah.
is your mechanism that helped you to accept the reality, what it is, how it's going to be like this, right? And again, well done to your friends and family. They did their part by not letting you know at that point, and in a certain point you realize. But anyways, it's a mammoth task for you to deal with reality now. Now, this is my core question. How
Yes.
did you dealt with the reality? And you did not take your life. You did not stay depressed. You sprung back like a hero, and you stood up saying, you know what? I don't care what has happened. I'm going to move forward. So what was that turning point? What was that
Yes.
realization?
Yes.
Or what was that
Yes.
person,
I'm, yes, I understood your question, and let me share. See, as I said, at one point of time, I gave up because I felt there is no point in living in this world, and I should end my life. Then I started thinking how to end up my life. So now, even though I want to end my life, I was in such a kind of condition, I couldn't even end my life because I couldn't even lift my body 1 inch. Even if
right?
I wanted to hang myself to the hospital fan, how can I go and hang myself?
Yeah.
So even if I want to take some other technique, I started thinking different technique to even die. And I found none of this technique were becoming into practicality, because I couldn't even lift my head, leg and my body and my head. So how can I go and die? So this, after again 1 month after thinking of dying myself with different techniques, I found in a deadlock position. I came to such a deadlock position. I am neither I want to live nor I want to die. And that is the time I started thinking, come on, what is this? I want to die, but I am not. I cannot die. What is this? Even though I want to die, God is not allowing me to die. And at the same time, God has made me to get into this kind of situation. Then I started thinking, what is this? There must be some reason behind it. There must be some reason behind this. Because falling from 40 feet height, I have not heard many people surviving. And then I started thinking, I have fallen down from 40 feet height, but now I'm in a position not even to end my life. I think there must be some reason behind this. So let me start living my life and see what is there, what is in store for me. A lot of no naysayers were there. They were telling, how are you going to manage your life, and how are you going to, who will take care of you, how do you manage your life in the wheelchair? But I decided, this happened after 2 years after my accident. When I was getting out of a hospital, I decided, okay, if my legs are not working, I have my brains, my head intact and my hands intact. So I should be able to make use of these things rather than things that are not there in my life. So that was a time I started thinking,
Wow.
see, more and more I start thinking about things that I don't have. My life is going to be like this. There are only two choices, either to give up or keep going. So what do you want to choose? It was in my hand. Like they say, how do you respond to the situation is most important. So I decided at the time, if I give up, my life will be completely in a corner, and I don't know, after some days I may even leave this world. Now I should not give up and take charge. Let me see what is there in store for me. There must be some reason for this accident to happen. So then I decided not to give up, and I started thinking, let me make use of the things that I have, the strength that I have, that my head is working, brain is intact, my hands are intact. Let me start continuing my job in software companies, even in the wheelchair. See, working in a software company, you don't need to walk. All you need is your hand and your brain. So that is the time. This is after 2 years. I decided. Then I got out of the hospital and took up a job in corporate.
Got it. So that's what is the turning point, and you started working in a
Yes,
corporate setting as a software engineer, professional.
correct. So now I am out of the hospital. 2 years I finished, and now I took up a job in corporate in a multinational company in Bangalore. And this company was thought it was a good company. So they also had their own fear, to make me. Had their own fear to give me good responsibilities, because they were also fear. They had their own
Worries and thoughts.
worries that whether how I am going to manage my life. But they
Hmm.
said, okay, we don't want to interview. You are from IIT, but we want to see whether how you can manage your job in.
Perform. Yeah.
Okay, so come for a few days, see, get used to the condition. Only when you feel, we will think of making you permanent. So I was just a temporary job. I was just going every day in the auto rickshaw. And
Hmm.
initially, I was not given any responsibilities at that time. So then they were also feeling, making me to simply sit in the hospital, the office may not be good. So then they gave me an internal project. They asked me, can you develop a software for HR
Hmm.
firm, HR department? And I
Hmm.
thought this is the best opportunity. I should make use of it. They gave me a couple of trainees, MCA guys, and I led that project. I finished 2-3 months in a very successful manner. I finished the entire software development for a HR department. It's an internal project. So they're very
Excellent.
happy. They're very happy. And then the management decided, I think this guy is mentally quite fit, and we should put him into international projects. Then that is the time they made me a permanent employee in that company. And next 2 years, it was like a rising, like a phoenix.
Hmm.
So in my case, it was
Superb.
like rising from the hospital bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's no less than that. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, no,
Let me share the next 2 years. Then I think you will be even more
Yeah.
surprised to see. So the next 2.5 years was like great change in my career, where I became a head of quality assurance department. I was leading a group of 8 to 10 software engineers. I became a manager in just 2 years. Just 2 years.
Got it.
And I became head of quality assurance department. And then these 8 to 10 people were reporting to me. I used to feel so proud. I'm leading a group of 8 to 10 people. And at that time, there was an international quality certification was coming to my organization wanted to get this. And hardly any companies in India, software companies, only I think Infosys or Motorola, some 4 or 5 companies. And my company wanted to get into the certification, the international certification. They asked me, since you are a quality head for medical system, why don't you lead this initiative for your business department? Then I started leading that initiative, and we got an international quality certification within 6 months. And I was awarded as one of the extraordinary contributor for the group of five. We were 5 people, core team, and I was in the core team, and I was awarded with an award called Extraordinary Contributor by a CEO. So this company is Philips. Okay,
Amazing.
so the CEO gave this award in a 5-star hotel, and they even sponsored me a hand controlled car. They gave me a hand, with the company's money, they donated a hand controlled car. So that is the place, I time.
Superb.
I couldn't even think, just 2.5 years back, how I was, and suddenly how fast I've grown in my job. And now I used to drive my own car, in hand controlled car.
Wow.
Amazing, amazing. And
Superb. Superb.
yeah, and another thing to add for you is, it was even more. It will be even more inspiring to hear is, at that time when we had got this international quality certification, my company became very popular all over the world, and our company's headquarters in Netherlands, Philips Netherlands, they extended invitation. They asked, why don't you come and give a presentation to us, that how you guys got this award. And I was sent to Netherlands, and when I land up in Netherlands, and I'm delivering a presentation in the front of 825 to 30 white guys, you know, dressed in black suits with confident grins on their faces. And it was I who took all their questions and told them how to achieve what we had done in our company in Bangalore. So
Wow.
what mattered at that time was my ability, not my disability. And I was respected for my abilities. This was
Wow.
one of the greatest moment in my life.
Wow. So would you say, I mean, this is maybe my thought process, but if would you say something like, if you're going through the challenges, respect your abilities to come out of it, rather than the disabilities that the challenge has created for you,
Absolutely.
right?
See,
What a beautiful notion, right?
yeah, it is.
Respect your abilities,
Yeah,
work with it, rather than getting stuck with the challenge and looking at the disability that the challenge has created.
yeah. So I did not make my disability as a main factor to get stopped. I became unstoppable. And I
Wow.
was, every time I was unstoppable. See, physical disability is there, but what I felt in that time, for my 2 years of stay in the hospital, and when after I delivered the presentation, I was able to overcome the disability in the mind. See,
Yeah.
disability in the body is okay, but disability in the mind is worse than the physical disability.
Superb. Very well said. Very
And
well said. I Niranjan bhai, I have come across so many people, able-bodied, people having challenges, maybe some personal issues, maybe some diseases as well. But you see, you nailed it beautifully. What you're telling me right now, and your mind should not be disabled. Your mind
absolutely,
should be able. You should focus on what can I do, rather than what is it that I cannot do in a situation.
absolutely. See, the
Brilliant.
physical disability is a limitation, but it is not a obstacle obstacle to go beyond. So it is in our life to how to handle our limitations. I take it as a challenge. Okay, but I am limitless in my mind. If my
Super.
mind is limited, then I can't do anything. Whereas in my case, my body is limited. I have limitations with my body, but my mind is unlimited. Because
Super.
of my mind, I know how to manage and take this my physical limitation. I don't consider it as a disability. I consider it as a limitation. But I
Yes.
know how to manage my limitation because my mind is limitless.
Superb. So Niranjan, I know there is another part of your life during
Yes,
this entire journey that probably a handful few people know about this, because I don't think, I'm not sure if you have openly shared with a lot of people, or you have, I don't know, but I realize that you have, uh, as per our interaction goes, only a few people knew about this to a certain point. So I want to, again, you came out beautifully well. I'm glad uh, you did not leave this world the way you were thinking, and you became an inspiration for thousands and I'm sure millions in the coming years. And I'll be very happy looking at that vision of yours. But at the same time, there is something else that happened in this journey which you had shared with me. Can you enlighten on that part? And that was in itself a super achievement, like a superhero thing, because with the situation you are in, and taking up that ownership and responsibility, actually, let me stop. Let me ask you
Yeah.
to
I know
enlighten,
that.
because
I know you're asking about my
yes,
personal life.
yes.
Okay. So to tell you another, to start with, it was sort of a miracle. I can say miracle. I happened to meet a girl when I was in the hospital, a nurse. She was a nursing student. So she came to treat me when I was in the hospital bed. You know, I was in a critical condition. So as she went on treating me, we became friends, and we developed more rapport, and rapport turned into closeness, then closeness turned into more friendliness, more friendliness turned into love finally. And this girl wanted to live with me, and she openly expressed, somehow I'm highly impressed the way you have taken up your life, the way you speak, the way you think about your life. So I want to take care of you, I want to be with you. So when she said like that, I started laughing. Why you want to live with me? And I'm going to be permanent in the wheelchair, and I'm not going to give any great happiness to you. So more you start living with me, more trouble you have to face. But she said, no, 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 don't think about about those things, because you need a help, and I want to be a good help, because you are alone, and once you get out of the hospital, you require somebody support, and I'll be with you. I don't look for other kind of pleasure. I want to live with you and to take you to the mainstream. So this was a situation where I met a girl, and we decided to live together, and we started loving each other. All these things happened in hospital. And when I came out of the hospital, she was with me. When I got a job in corporate, she was with me. And she is from Kerala, and she's a Christian lady, and I'm a Hindu. And we were not married. And we used to live together in a house, and I used to go to job every day. She used to help me. And in fact, I will tell you, she is an angel. She's an angel. The
Wow.
way she entered my life was like an angel. When like in Christian language, if we want to say, like Holy Spirit, it's like a Holy
Wow.
Spirit. She came to my life at that time. And if she had not come at that time, it would have been great difficulty. And she taught me how to manage my life. And we
Wow.
were living together so nicely. A great girl, wonderful girl, beautiful girl. And we spent almost 2 years of living together. And what happens, in my caste, we are Hindus and very traditional caste. And my relatives used to tell, since both of you want to live together, why don't you get married? Things like that. So
Hmm.
then we took a decision to get married, and we got married also in a very, very simple. We didn't do any celebration, just a registered office, and did a small celebration in my rented house in Bangalore.
Right.
And after the marriage, again, maybe so it is in 1998. Yes,
Mm.
in the year of 2000. So 2 years had passed after the marriage. Life was going pretty well, and we started thinking about the having a child, and we started exploring different techniques of getting a child. Since I'm a physically challenged person, biologically I cannot become a father. So we explored different techniques, but ultimately none of the techniques could get succeed. And we found that only way for us is to adopt a boy, adopt a child. And then we thought of adopting a child.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then what happened is we went to an orphanage, and we adopted a boy who is 9 months old when he came to our house.
Wow.
Okay. And this was something. When he came to my house was filled with so much happiness. Now I used to think, what man, how come life can change like this?
Mm.
Once my life was so good, and I fell down, and I went into such a rock bottom stage. And then again I rose up, and I got a fantastic job, doing well in the job, having a girl who's married me, and having a child, even though it's not my child, but I have a child, great child, and we are living as a great family, and things are going quite well. And this, after this incident I would like to tell you was something, a great bolt from the blue. It is a biggest shock of my life. So the shock that happened when I was accident was more of a physical shock. This was a more emotional pain or emotional shock. So after 6 years of staying with me, one day I do not know what happened to this girl. She came and openly expressed that she wanted to have a different life and she wanted to get separated from me. And that was something I did not even have a little glimpse of it, that she will want to go out of my life. And when she said like this, I couldn't even think what to do.
Wow.
And then, see, it is not in my hands. When the other person doesn't want to stay with you, then we didn't have any great animosity, fight. So he said, I don't have any animosity with you. I don't have any bad feelings. All I want is a freedom. And you have been leading a life now, and you are on your own, and now you give me freedom. So that was something which was so difficult, because even though I wanted to give freedom, but there was a child in front of us. My son was 2.5 years at that time.
Wow.
My only question for her is, okay, fine. If I had been alone, I would have open-heartedly accepted and allowed you. But now there is a child, 2.5-year child, and we have promised in the court that we are going to be father and mother. And now you have taken a decision to live. So what will happen to this child?
Yeah. Huge
So
question.
that was a big question. And I told her to realize at least this one, and change, if possible, change the decision. But maybe, I don't know, she was not able to change her mind at all. She said, no, more and more I want to stay with you. It will be more difficult, and I want to have a separate life. And with great pain in my heart, we got separated. And to tell you, this was something which happens in movies, but it happened in my life. I had to drop her to the railway station when she was going out of my life.
Wow.
She asked me on the day of leaving, okay, I want to go to her railway station. I have got a lot of luggages. Okay, so let us depart friendly manner. So please drop me to railway station. Then I too sat in my car with her help only. And she sat in the car, took all luggages, went, dropped to the railway station in Bangalore, and she went to Kerala. And we got separated. And after we got separated, I came to my house. My son had come from the school. There was one small girl who was, we had hired to take care of my son. And my house is only me and my 2.5-year-old kid. You just imagine what would be my situation at that time, staying alone, managing myself. It's so difficult. Now I have to take care of 2.5-year kid. Was something I started thinking, come on here, what is this life? How do I land up like this? And immediately I put a leave. I told my boss, I explained my boss everything. I told him that I need break. I need 2-3 weeks break. I will not come to the job. Allow me to, I'll put the things in place. I'll come back to my job. Then I told myself, no giving up. I think this is another testing time. So
Right.
I
So
should.
you didn't had a thought that, you know what, now she's not there. How will I take care of my child? Maybe I can send the child back to the orphanage, or figure out a way someone else can take care of
Yes,
it, because
yes. In fact, you asked a very valid question. And I, giving back to the thought of giving back my child to orphanage came few days before she left. So what happened is, I informed my orphanage people also about her decision to leave me. And orphanage people said, why don't both of you come? We want to have a discussion with you. Then we went to the orphanage, and they tried to change her mind. She was unable to change her mind. And they told me, Niranjan, I think she's not able to change her mind. I think it's going to be difficult for you to take care of the child. If you want, you can give back the child to us, and we will adopt him to other parents. We don't want to give you more problem. But at the same time, uh, we don't want child to suffer. If at all it's not possible, then I told them very straightforward. I don't know how that word Stanton came. I told them, ma'am, I cannot give this child back. He is already 2.5 years. I have developed a sort of a relation with him, that I am a
Wow.
father. I have given a oath in the court that I will be a father for him forever.
Superb.
Come what may, I will see that this guy will be taken care. You tell me what are the ways to take care. Then they were very surprised and they started telling me some different ways of taking care, like foster parents. You can leave him in the foster parents' care. Every day you can go and see him. So that day I did not give him back. I, I took a strong stand. Even if she's not there, I will find a way. I will find a way. How I found my way when I was in the hospital to come out of the hospital to lead a life. Now also I will find a way. Maybe I may not be able to get a solution right now, but if I have this mindset, come somehow I will get a way to manage my son. So I came back and immediately hired a nurse for me to take care of me and my son. And there was a small girl to take care of my son every day. And we started managing my life without my wife, with the help of caregivers. Next 1 year was 3 4 caregivers. I managed my life with 3 4 caregivers.
Right.
Every time these nurses used to come, I used to change them 3 4 months. Because see, what happened is these nurses also started taking advantage of my position and my situation, physical disability, and they were demanding some unfavorable favors, things like that. So I did not yield, and it was becoming difficult for me to manage with some nurses. Then, then after 1 year of again continuous struggle managing with caregivers, I found a wonderful caregiver. Rather me finding, it was again a God sent, I can say. Now I
Wow.
believe in God. At that time, I never used to believe in God
Wow.
because a lot of things have changed now. So then I got a caregiver from my native place. From my sister told me there is one widow who is a elderly lady and who is, I will ask her if she's willing. And we got a nice caregiver who was 54 years at that time. And
Wow.
when she came to my house, lot of things changed. She took the entire responsibility of the house, and my headaches of managing the house was over, except leaving my son to the daycare center and going to my job and coming back from the job in the evening and is to pick my son. So this
Wow.
lady today, she's still with us
Superb.
of 17 years, and my son now is 21 years old.
Wow. I mean, a clap or a round of applause. It's like a speck of appreciation, I would say, what you have done, what you have gone through, and the way you have come out of situations. It is a massive inspiration for people who are listening out there, and I'm sure you know Niranjan, as we, all of us, the entire world is struggling and battling with the situation called corona, and a lot of people are in a situation where either they have lost their job, they have having difficulties. Some people, maybe somewhere around the world, they can't even afford to find food for their families, right? And then some people are maybe thinking right now of extreme things to do, or escape the world, or whatever the case may be. Man, I want each and every one of people to listen to stories like yours, and I'm sure there are many more out in the world, but this is like right from the horse's mouth. And what how the way you shaped, not only you shaped your life after that incident, but you shaped another human being's life. You gave support, you gave guidance, you did not give up, right? You found a way. And I'm telling you, if people who are maybe in a tough situation, tough spot, have it, adopt a certain percentage of your mindset, certain percentage, not even entire mindset, I'm sure they can find a way. I'm sure they can understand that there is always a way. Figure out, talk to people, go seek help, do whatever you must, rather than staying stuck and thinking about, what, I can't do this. Why me? Why God has given to me? Yes, there is a period, you go into that phase. But the smaller the amount that you stay in that state, or that fear state, or that worry state, or that challenge state, the better it is for you and for the people around you. That's what I've learned from people. right? The amazing people who have phenomenal mindset like yourself, they don't stay in that state for a longer period of time. So, listen to the story of Niranjan, how he did it, right? He has done it in spite of his physical limitation, which is, again, we are saying only physical limitation, but it's massive limitation. He can't move on his legs. He can't move his body. Man, I'm telling you, I am having goosebumps right now. I was patiently listening to every detail of your story that you were mentioning. I know it's gone beyond a little bit more than the usual time of a framework of podcast that I do, but I want people to listen to this, understand where they are, remember what they can do rather than focusing on what they can't do, and figure out a way. If a man like Niranjan can stand back up, help people, today he's helping thousands of people to stand back up. Each and everyone has that innate ability to do these things, but we forget because we get tied up with the challenge. We listen to people, we listen to naysayers, listen, pay more attention to a situation and problem, and we compound it to a way, in a way that we paralyze ourselves in our mind. And it doesn't have to be. I'm saying, I'm not reducing the size of the problem that you may have or people out there maybe having, but I'm saying, figure out a way, seek help, go to people, talk to people, seek guidance, do what you must. And Niranjan, I know we have talked about your entire journey, but tell me now, how have you been inspiring a lot of people? What is the current life right now going on, and how beautiful it is for you to be living this life, inspiring, guiding, and fulfilling everything that you always wanted. Please enlighten about that area. And then I know it's a little bit, I'm taking a little bit more of your time, but it's important people to understand. Doesn't matter what has happened, doesn't matter where you were, but it matters where you are going and what are you doing about it.
Yes. See, after bringing up my son again, I worked for corporates for max 12 years. After 12 years, in fact, I lost the job in my latest company, not the company where I worked earlier, because of lack of understanding of the management. Then I decided on that day, come on, so I should get out of this rat race and make my life completely full of freedom. I should not be dependent on anyone. I should be boss of my life. On that day, I decided, let me start creating employment for myself rather than depending on others. And
Correct.
I started thinking. On the day I resigned the job, came back to my house and started thinking how to create a life for me, a professional life. So then I started thinking about my strengths. See, every time, in life, situation comes, and it is all, we have to see the testing time to test our potential. Every time the situation was testing my potential, every time I used to go beyond, I used to find my potential is so much limitless. There is so much inside me to demonstrate. So then this third incident, when I lost the job, on that day I had an option. My boss told me, why don't you go and say, get a job in other company? It will be very difficult for you to manage your life alone. Then I said, sir, I don't want to depend on any companies. I want to create employment for myself. Then I started thinking of my strengths. Again, I never started thinking about my weaknesses. Then I found my strength that I used to be a good lecturer in my engineering college. Then I decided, okay, training is a better option for me. Let me start doing corporate training. Then I became a freelance trainer, and I made a decent name in just 6 months, and I could establish myself as a very good trainer in a corporate world. And then I started getting offers from different cities. Then people started telling me, see, you have a problem in traveling. You are a physically challenged person. But if you really want to come, we don't have any issues, but we'll be very happy to take your services. Then I decided, why should I must get limited to my own Bangalore city? Again, there will be a way how to manage. If I want, it is everything, Irfan, is in our mind. If your mind starts thinking of possibilities, you will start finding the ways. If your mind starts thinking of no possibility, you will get stuck. So then I decided on that day, okay, let me see how I can manage if I go to other cities. Then I established a proper planning system. I established a network with how to manage, so that I found hotels where they are friendly for physically challenged people. And I used to book such hotels in all cities, and I used to inform before only. And there was everywhere, there was like a airlines guy used to help me, and then hotel guys used to help me in the hotel. And I started giving training in various cities. I traveled almost all metropolitan cities in India alone in the wheelchair. On
Wow.
2-3 days I go in flight. I go in flight. I go and deliver the training and finish and come back to my place. And I have done almost all cities, all main cities: Delhi, Mumbai,
Superb.
southern cities, Kerala, Chennai, Hyderabad.
Superb.
Then I even started getting an offer from outside countries.
Awesome.
Then there was a situation in Hyderabad. I had trained a company in Hyderabad. So this company had a headquarters in US in Texas state. Those guys said they were very impressed hearing that these people in Hyderabad very happy about my training capabilities. So they extended an invitation, wanted to come and train us in US. That is only we are leaving it for your choice. We don't want to trouble you because of your situation. But if you come, we will be more happy. Then I decided, when I have managed my life within India like this, there still I can still go abroad also. Let me see. This
Wow.
is what happens now. See, you have written in my book, one of the chapters, other side of life happens only when you leave your comfort zone. See, as
Yes.
long as we are in the comfort zone, we won't be able to see our other side of the life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I took a decision, come on, I will go to US. Then I planned every trip, the whole trip properly, and booked 3-4 transition airport, so that I can get in the transition airport and go to Lou. And because especially going to
Yes.
washroom is difficult for me, because I can't
Got
even
it.
lift myself in the from the
Wheelchair.
aircraft seat.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I
Sure.
had decided I will empty my bladder only at the transition airports. So,
Man. Super.
and 24 hours, I have 24 to 26 hours. In fact, at that time, there was a snow in
Super.
London. My flight got held up for 6 hours in the London. We are sitting in the aircraft. I managed to reach Texas by changing 3 flights after 36 hours. And everywhere I managed at the transition airport, I used to go and empty my bladder, and used to consume very less liquid. And then when I went to Texas, after finishing my training, they're so happy. In fact, those photos are available in my website and all. And they were so happy. They offered me a consultant job to give a consultancy from India itself. And when I come back to India and landed up in Bangalore, I was so proud. Come on, man, how can life can be possible, made possible, as long as we think it is possible?
Niranjan, I
Yeah,
salute you. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I salute you.
and
I'm sorry, I'm
yeah,
taking a minute right now here.
sure, sure.
I don't know, people, everyone listening out there as well. Imagine how many times do we complain about small little things that we can that are not that non I mean, it should not even affect you. People complain about, oh, I did not get the kind of food that I wanted to eat. The lockdown has done this. Oh, this has done that. This has done that. Small little things. This man who we are talking to, Niranjan, right now, he figured a way to go for long flights, hold his pee, so that he can go out and do some magic in other people's life, right? I mean, what do we complain about? The small little things. Think about it, guys. Think about it. There is so much, if you want to do, you can do, right? Stop complaining. Go out and do things. Go out and help someone else. You know what suffering is? Suffering is me obsessing about me. Go out and help someone. Do things for someone. Niranjan, over to you.
Yeah. So then another great shift is last 2.5 years. A lot of people were telling, you are leading very inspired life. Why don't you go and make a difference in people's life? Okay, the way you lead your life itself is inspiring. You should share your life story. You should change. A lot of people need a sort of motivation nowadays. So this is where I started thinking in 2018, somewhere in the beginning of 2018. And I thought, okay, I think I should spend my time, a little bit of time in making difference in people's life. So that is the thought. I started reaching out, thought of going and making difference in people's life. And I attended a workshop in when I met you in July in Goa,
Yes.
in
Yes.
Arfin's this thing. And after the workshop, somehow there was a huge inspiration that I had to create my social presence. Then in the workshop, I decided first thing I will do is I'll come up with a book. First,
Yeah.
I'll write a book.
Yeah.
Then I decided immediately after coming out of the workshop, we came to Bangalore. I started writing the book. 70 days. Within 70 days, I finished my book.
Excellent.
And the whole book was about my experiences, how I made my life unstoppable. And every time I used to think my life is unstoppable, then what title I should give? Then I thought, since I have chosen to be unstoppable, I am unstoppable today. Let me give the same title. Then I gave the title called I Choose to Be Unstoppable. And
Excellent.
this book was released from Rotary Club. And after it was released in Rotary Club, and my name became so popular, it came in the several newspapers. And people who read the book, they felt so inspired. And you can see this book feedback it is available in Amazon. A lot of good feedback has been given to this book. And the whole thing, I didn't do anything great effort in writing. All I did is sharing entire my life experience
Yeah.
after the accident. And
Yeah.
every chapter I shared each and everything about
Yeah.
the whole life, like has become like a roller coaster now. So what
Yeah.
has happened is after the book, then I started giving motivation classes. I only started getting some invitations from schools, colleges, then corporates. Then I came up, when I started giving motivational talks, people were getting highly inspired. And when they share my story, they used to feel very inspired. And then I came up with my own stand-up system, a system called Stand Up, where it helps to stand up for people to stand up in their life. See, the whole idea is they have to stand up for their life, for their challenges, and what they believe in. And I
Correct.
have designed my program with my own life strategies. I got it and created this program and started conducting these workshops,
Superb.
outbound workshops. And this workshop, I got pretty good testimonials. Okay, and now because of COVID, this workshop became problem, and now I'm converting the whole thing into online training. Okay, so then last November, all of a sudden, I got a call from TEDx team. See, many times to become a TEDx speaker is so difficult. People chase they start thinking so much how to become TEDx speaker. I
Right.
never even thought in my life how to become a TEDx speaker. TEDx came behind me. I didn't go behind TEDx.
Yeah. Yeah. They would, because you have done well. You've got a story. You've faced life right in the eyes, and you said, you know what, I'm not going to give up.
Just 1 minute. I want to share that incident.
Yeah.
So one day I got a call from TEDx team and asking me for phone call. They said, "Sir, we have seen videos in your YouTube and we are very inspirational. Could you come as a speaker in a forthcoming TEDx event?" So this was something
Yeah.
I had not even thought in my life. So how come these things happened? And I came to know that there are like 1,500 applications to just select 10 people, 10 speakers. And I was selected as a second speaker without my effort on. And I went and delivered my TEDx talk, and my TEDx talk became so popular, and it is available in YouTube. And now I'm a rebound coach and helping people to make difference.
Superb.
Everyone can rebound in their life. Now I want people to think of rebounding.
Amazing.
It is in our hands. So
Amazing.
now I'm just want, before you take over from me, I want to just tell, see, once my life was of no hope when I fell from accident. Now my life is of giving hope to many. My life has been transformed from life of no hope to life of giving hope to many today. I've been
Yeah.
able to touch so many lives. Now I know the purpose, why the God made me. Maybe at that time I didn't know the reason. This is what happens in many people's life. When we
Yeah.
meet with some accident or some adversities, we get so much shocked, like just to hear the Sushant film actor's death. I feel very sad. So when we meet some adversity, we give up and we start, there is no world out there. But we fail to understand there is some reason for the God. We should ready to face the adversities boldly, and then only we start seeing the possibilities. Because on that day, I chose not to give up. Today, see where my life has been. Had I gone to US at that time, maybe I would have become a top-notch professional, but I would not have become so much popular, made so much difference in people's life today. And this life is 1,000 times more valuable than I would have spent my life in US as a some professional like that. This is what I wanted to tell you.
Awesome. So Niranjan, where they can find you? If they have to find you, are on YouTube, Instagram, I believe, Facebook, right?
Yes. I have a website called niranjannerlige.com. And
Great.
if you go to Google and type Niranjan Nerlige, Niranjan Nerlige, leave the
Got it.
space. Okay. If you type, you'll get a website. Then and YouTube, I have some 50 videos on YouTube. They have to just type my name, Niranjan Nerlige. They'll get my TEDx talk and some other motivational videos.
Super.
Okay.
Super.
Facebook, I'm available. Facebook personal
yeah.
profile as well as page. Okay.
I'll leave the links in the podcast as well, so the people can find you. It has been an amazing ride, a roller coaster ride for me as well. Listening to your stories, coming out with challenges, figuring your life out, and I'm sure there is so much of learning lessons for anyone and everyone who's listening out there, if they choose to. Right? Again, it's a choice, and take certain things, apply it in your life, take action, move forward. Seek out, reach out. Again, if you're listening to my podcast, you know where to find me. If you're listening to Niranjan as well, you know where to find him. Reach out, because everyone needs someone when we are going through this tough time, and someone can give you a certain perspective or guidance to help you move forward, right? So all the best. Thank you so much, Niranjan, for coming at a very short notice. I didn't give you much notice as well. With your busy timing, you took out time, and a good amount of time you have invested with this conversation. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for listening once again. And I promise you, I'll keep coming back with amazing, inspiring human beings who are able to guide you, in a certain way, or add some value to your life, basically, and then so that you are able to use that and move forward in your life. Thank you so much, Niranjan, once again.
Thank you so much.
And have a phenomenal journey going forward and impact many more souls. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you.